Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 8th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. We got British Columbia, Washington, Oregon. Check out our next frontal system here, giving British Columbia a head start with precipitation amounts before this finally pivots through western Washington and Oregon. This next system out here across the Aleutian Islands will march across the Gulf of Alaska, slam into the Pacific Northwest Saturday night into Sunday. Then we've got another system through early next week before we try to build a big ridge here across the Pacific Northwest. If we take a look at the visible satellite, you can see a lot of that precip moving north. Some of that clip in western Washington that may actually wane as we go through the afternoon today before this front finally pivots through here as we go through early tomorrow morning. But get out there if you're getting some of that nice sunshine across Montana, Idaho, eastern Washington, and Oregon right now, because big pattern change is definitely incoming here. Now, if you live across some of the Willamette Valley, the coastal range, a lot of Oregon and southwest Washington here, be aware of these new geographic zones they've done with the National Weather Service Forecast Office here. It's good to know exactly where you are. And again, this does include some portions of Washington here as well, coastal range all the way down into the Cascades. And now taking a look at gusty Friday night winds through Saturday as the system rolls in here. There's some wind advisories out there. I'll show you that here in a moment. Mountain snow, Stevens, Snoqualmie Pass, getting a bit of snowfall out of this. And then we've got a few systems to go, but we're going to need it here because it looks like we're going through an extended dry streak as we go through mid and later March. So, you know, we need to be thankful and grateful for all the snowfall we're going to get here with these next few systems because we're already below average. And if we go through a dry streak, we can really drop down. So British Columbia not doing too hot either. So hopefully this precipitation falling today is beneficial. Oregon doing a little bit better. We'll look at the SNOTEL maps here in a moment. If we look at the European model as of last night, there goes our frontal system. You can see it taking its sweet time pivoting through western Washington, Oregon as we go through the day tomorrow. And then you can see the next system is going to be hot on the heels of that one as we go through Sunday morning. And then one more system here as we go on in through Tuesday morning. Pretty deep low out over the Gulf of Alaska, powering that one in here. And then we start to build the ridge. And we're going to look at that in some detail here in a moment. If we look at the North American model, I'm going to put this into motion. You can see some of that precipitation, again, waning kind of this afternoon for western Washington, continues into British Columbia. Frontal system starts to pivot through here as we go through tonight and tomorrow morning. And we could destabilize behind that front a little bit on Saturday. Some of the models showing a thunderstorm chance with that, a little bit of cape around. And then you can see the next system, a stronger system as we go through Saturday night and into Sunday morning. Some gusty winds for the coastal areas in the higher terrain, maybe the northwest interior and the Strait of Georgia. And here we're going to look at those winds really quick. So as we take a look, as we go through the day today, you can see the winds picking up as we go through tonight across eastern Oregon. The higher terrain, northwest interior starts to pick up as we move through tomorrow morning as well. A little bit of gusty winds for the coastal areas. But then the next frontal system is going to pack a bit more of a punch. And you can see those winds picking up here as we go on into Saturday night into very early Sunday morning. Now, looking at the European, I want to scroll ahead to Saturday here because that's the time of concern. You can see maybe eyes on the sky on Saturday. It looks like some interesting stuff out there. Could get a lightning strike or two across some of western Washington and western Oregon, maybe into southwest BC also. The model's been fluctuating back and forth and just how unstable we are going to be. We'll revisit that again tomorrow morning. If we look at the national blend of models, you can see the frontal system rolling in as we go through tomorrow morning. This would be about 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Again, BC getting the head start there. And this frontal system kind of falling apart, not that impressive. But the one that comes in Saturday night and Sunday morning is going to pack a better punch here. And you can see it bringing some precip to Portland and Seattle, the rain shadowing northeast of the Olympic Mountains and east of the Cascade Range as well. And then as we go through about Wednesday morning, we just completely dry out here across Pacific Northwest. Look, we're just going 6-hour chunks all the way out into the extended forecast. Not a stitch of rain showing up here. So we may have an extended dry period as we roll through the end of March. Again, I'll show you more on that here in a moment. And this is the snowfall here as we go through about, again, Wednesday morning. We just cut the spigot off. We just stopped the precipitation here. So hopefully we can overperform with some of these systems here because we're below normal across Washington, BC, northern Idaho, and Montana. Oregon doing okay right now, but if we get an extended dry period, we can really start to tail off some of that snowpack. And looking back at 2019, we set some record highs with this big ridge here across British Columbia, and pushing that storm track well north and then way behind us and well off to some of the lower 48 off to our east here and giving us this nice big dome of high pressure and allowing us to warm up here. We had some temperatures well into the 70s for some of the area. Now, if we compare that here, this is what's coming. So you can kind of see that ridge in the, this would be about Thursday night. But let's back all the way up here. So you can see these systems are going to be rolling through in the meantime. We've got a tomorrow morning system, we got Sunday morning system, then we got Tuesday and Wednesday system before we start to build the ridge here, and we start to warm up at some point, probably next Thursday or so, Friday. So that's still a little ways out in the forecast. We want to be cautious with that. You know, it is March. It's hard to build these big ridges here and keep them around for a while, but some of the models have been showing, as you can see in the European, as we scroll way off into the future, kind of keeping that ridge around with us all the way out through March 21st. And the GFS is showing something similar here as well. So it'll be interesting to watch that forecast evolve over the next few days. And if we back up here, I want to show you what's coming here. Is by the time we get in towards the end of this week, offshore flow, very warm air aloft, trying to build over the region. And then this hangs with us all the way on into the following week on the GFS, as you can see. So let me back it up to where we are now, and you can kind of see the frontal systems rolling through here. There we go with the Sunday system. And then we get the one more system there on Tuesday. Here it comes, driving down across the region, moves through on Wednesday. And then you can see the anticyclone and the high pressure just really build in there. Warm air aloft, offshore flow. So that'll be interesting to see just how long we are going to dry out, because the European and the GFS really show an extended period of not much precipitation here for the Pacific Northwest. Now, if we look at the mean sea level pressure map, this is our initial frontal system rolling through, and then we got the stronger storm as we go through Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then we've got one more storm here as we go through Tuesday, and then we really start to build this ridge. Look at this high pressure just build in over the area, and this is what's known as a thermal trough. You can kind of see that building up here as we get the offshore flow, get a little bit of compression here and some warming. You get that thermal trough. So interesting stuff there, and we may continue this ridge all the way through the extended forecast, but I don't want to get too caught up in those details just yet, because it is March and it's going to be hard to keep a ridge of that strength around for any extended period of time. And one more look at it here as we look at the winds coming up. You can see there's a frontal system, there's Sundays, and then we got one more storm system rolling through here as we go through the day, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we really build this ridge, and you can see how things turn offshore here. And that's how we can really warm things up here across much of the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest. So that could have the potential to be with us for a while. Again, we'll watch that day by day. Now, if we look at today, you can see 55 for Seattle and 57 for Portland here. You know, not bad temperature-wise out there across some of Western Oregon and Eastern Washington, Oregon as well. But as we bring these systems in here, we're going to knock down those temperatures a little bit here. There's Monday, there's Tuesday, there's Wednesday, and there's Thursday. You can see we're looking a little ways out in the forecast, but the models have been pretty darn right consistent with this warm-up starting somewhere about Thursday. Then we look at Friday, Saturday. I mean, look at these temperatures. This would be a glorious weekend coming up next weekend if these were to verify. And all the models are in agreement right now. There's Sunday, Monday. So yeah, we might stay warm here above average as we go on into the later portion of March. Here's the 6 to 10 day. They're catching on. The Climate Prediction Center showing above average here as we go through March 17th. Here's the 6 to 10 day precipitation. And when I said they're going to shut off the precipitation, or Mother Nature is anyway, you can see the Climate Prediction Center is kind of in agreement with that. Here's the 8 to 14 day big time above normal warm signal here on the West Coast, and the 8 to 14 day all the way through March 21st, big signal here below normal. So again, we'll check back daily and see how this evolves. This is looking at snow water equivalent, and when you see the light blue starting to show up here, that's above average, and the more blue you get here, the better you're doing. So you can see Oregon's doing pretty darn well here, but you see northern Idaho and western Montana and Washington, many areas are not doing well. So we really need to hopefully we can overperform with these systems here as far as the snowpack is concerned, because if we get an extended dry period, we're really going to be going to kind of be hurting here across the snowpack for Washington, Idaho, and portions of Montana, and especially British Columbia. And this is looking at the snow water equivalent for the state of Washington. We need to be up towards that green line to be towards normal here. So we're like, I think, 71% of median. Not terrible right now, but with that looming dry signal, it could be a problem. But anyway, yeah, we'll continue to watch this. We'll break this down day by day. Definitely going to feel this pattern change as we roll through here. A couple of strong systems rolling through. We got a thunderstorm potential on Saturday, and we got big waves off on the coastline too. We'll share those again more tomorrow, but wave action should pick up a little bit more tomorrow morning. By Sunday, it's going to pick up even a bit more and maybe remain active on and through next week also. So we'll look at that tomorrow, and we'll just continue to break things down. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, it'll be nice to have that ridge around. It'll definitely bring some nice weather, most likely. It doesn't look like a foggy regime as of right now, so we'll just continue to watch that, break it down. Hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.